The Town Star competition happening on September 16, 2025 will feature the dry rub meta, which is a step up from the roasted garlic meta that happened 2 weeks ago. The craft requirements for dry rub are 3 sugar, 5 roasted garlic, 3 salt, and 3 peppermint. It is crafted in the spice lab with a craft time of 2 minutes and stored in the storehouse. For this competition, dry rub will give 126,000 stars for each one sold. The trade time for this competition is 60 seconds with a 1 gasoline cost per trade. The starting layout provided for this competition is a plains biome, or maybe actually a forest biome because of all the trees, with a river on the south side and west side. There is a lot of spoiled soil in this starting layout, which will make this expensive to clear out to be able to use the entire town. The cash boosts for this competition are sugar from 2,300 to 23,000, roasted garlic from 65,000 to 95,000, salt from 2,250 to 22,500, and peppermint from 400 to 4,000. The rewards for this competition are the standard Gala rewards plus an NFT known as the Hasty Mexican Restaurant Blueprint for reaching the top 1,200 placements in the leaderboard by the time the competition ends. The Hasty Mexican Restaurant Blueprint will increase the movement speed of the chef from the Mexican restaurant. The higher the rarity, the higher the boost. Rewards are usually distributed directly to your account within 5 days. This is the design I created for the dry rub meta, and if you've been paying attention to my build showcases, this one looks very similar to the one I did 2 weeks ago. That's because this is using that same design that I created for the roasted garlic meta, and I just made some adjustments in order to get it balanced for the dry rub meta. So let's see how this one is doing. It's been running for over 13 hours now. I left this running a long time so you could see a good, stable, accurate production monitor because the final meta product rate is a low number. So as you can see, it's doing about 7.4 dry rub per hour, and that makes sense because the roasted garlic rate is 37 per hour, and I also have enough sugar, salt, and peppermint to make this amount of dry rub. Now I will scroll through the production monitor here so you can see the production rates of everything as usual. I made a couple of adjustments in order to get this to work. Like I said, I will go over those adjustments now. I'm not going to go over the entire crafting process. I'm going to assume that you watched the roasted garlic build showcase, which is where I explained the entire crafting process using the Townstar Playbook Planner, of course, but I went over the entire crafting process. I don't have to go over it again because the meta is very similar. Like I said, this is a step up. So moving on from that, the changes that I made here, first of all, we are given 2 rivers instead of 1, which is nice. So that allowed me to get rid of 7 ponds in order to place down more salt fields, more peppermint fields, well, the peppermint fields that are required for this meta. And instead of this pond here, I just placed a paved road in that spot because I already had enough brine for this rate. Now the changes I made for the gas setup over here, because we don't have an oil seep, I needed to have oil pumps, and I ended up just shifting the gas setup right here because it allowed me to place an additional windmill here on a green craft timer, which is very nice to have as many green timer windmills as possible for this design. And I still had space right here for the oil pumps. Since they don't cast any shade, I can have them close to the windmill. And I just moved my loggers up here in this corner, and I needed to build a forklift in order to pick up the crude oil for the gasoline production. And of course, make sure to turn the power plants off when you don't need any more energy. I don't have a dedicated spot for a lumber mill or a warehouse or a lumber yard this time, but of course, when you would need those, you know, while you're in the process of building everything, you need lumber and energy, you would just temporarily build the lumber mill maybe here, and make sure you just have enough lumber to build the last farm tractor right here, and you would temporarily build the warehouse in this spot and the lumber yard basically anywhere else you want to, you know, it's all just temporary. Now the trade depot, I did end up moving it over here. You could keep it in this corner spot since it's not being, nothing's in here, but you're better off keeping this corner spot for like a builder house if you need to do some more building. That's really not important because you could just put builder houses here and then replace them for the meadows. So that doesn't really matter. And 1 trade depot is enough for this anyways, since it is balanced well enough. Now I did add another sugarcane field since I needed more sugar, and hence I do have this this extra windmill on a green craft timer making sugar as well, but I believe I changed this one from sugar to salt, so that kind of makes up for that. And I have basically almost the same amount of buildings as I did for the roasted garlic build, but of course we do have one of the new spice lab buildings. In order to make the dry rub, only one is required since the production rate for it is very low. Now for the milk barn setup, I did make some adjustments here. I moved the milk barns closer together, and I believe maybe I got rid of one as well. I know I got rid of the pond right here and the pond right here since I don't have milk barns right here anymore. So these still have the 3 passive water that they need, and moving them like this allowed me to have that sugarcane field right here with the green craft timer, as well as another tree farm right here for the additional wood required. Well, I am overproducing wood. I really only need like 860 per hour, but it's always a good idea to overproduce wood a little bit. Probably could even get rid of this tree farm that has 1 shade and replace that for a salt field or something if you needed to improve this somehow. Oh, as for auto cells, and sometimes I forget to bring this up, but as usual, you want all the items here with an auto trade quantity of at least 10. I do have the crops on here at 12, so brine, garlic, peppermint, and sugarcane are all at a cell quantity of 12, since I can get away with it, and it's good to always have at least 2 of the items in stock. But as you can see, everything else is at an auto cell quantity of 10. Now here's what it looks like on the Townstar Playbook planner that I've mentioned in several of my videos already. I know not everybody watches my videos, so just a quick recap. This is a tool that's a work in progress. It's available to supporters only for the time being. If you are supporting me on your YouTube membership or Patreon, you can send me a message. I will send you an access key and a link, but for the time being, I am still using it on my videos to explain to you some of the stuff that this planner says about the design. So once again, this is the no NFT required dry rub design that I just showed you, and now I'm showing it to you on the planner. I do have something that generates like a quick diagram of how to craft it. So this is the crafting process. You can see it right there very quickly. Not too complicated to make dry rub. Not the easiest thing to make either, don't get me wrong, but not too complicated compared to some other stuff. And like I mentioned on the roasted garlic meta, we don't have an ocean biome for this one. I probably should have mentioned that at the start, and that is why we have so many salt fields on a red craft timer. My initial goal for this was somewhere between 7 and 8 dry rub per hour, seeing as that would require 35 to 40 roasted garlic per hour. Now I know that we do need additional salt and sugar in order to accommodate this. That's why I figured it'd be somewhere closer to 7 dry rub per hour, and I did manage to get it to 7.4 as you saw. So the planner is telling me that it predicted a rate of 6.4 dry rub per hour. I didn't really go and check every single thing to figure out why it was predicting 6.4 and not like 7.4, you know. So it didn't turn out that accurate this time, but that's how it goes. Can't really rely on that. Regardless, it does work. I think it'll be a good enough build for the competition. Not the best thing, of course, since this isn't a brand new design. I'm just reusing a design and tweaking it. So kind of came out as I expected. Now let's talk about the total cost of everything here. Total cost for this build is about 8 million. Wages are 10,020 per minute. The wages won't be an issue once you're finished with the build. The build itself is not too expensive, but the annoying part is clearing all of the spoiled soil and the trees and the rocks in order to actually use the entire town. Like I said before, I am going to show you what the starting layout looks like here. Credit to Ives for actually planning this, designing the starting layout and sharing it with everybody in the planner so we can upload it. Saves me a couple of minutes from having to put this together as well, which I usually don't anyways. I usually don't put the starting biome in the planner. The total cost to clear this would be a little over 11 million. Now you get some cash back from selling the pond, but you know, 11 million to clear this. We have 2 different types of spoiled soil. The first type is the one that costs 25,000 to remove, and this new second type with the old tree on it costs 312,500 to remove, so it is very expensive. Now the cash boosts aren't that great. I mean, they're good if you have some NFTs like a light circus and either the sugarcane stand or the brine stands, so that you can quickly and easily make sugar and salt and sell that. But for no NFT players, you're not gonna have that good option. Peppermint is cash boosted, but Peppermint is slow. The craft time here is 3 minutes on a green craft timer. So yeah, that is slow. You may be better off just doing a gold rush, even though you are kind of limited in the space, but you can still pull off a gold rush, and just, you know, you have to come up with some design that works considering the spoiled soil on both of the corners here. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. If you don't have any NFTs at all, just do a gold rush, get the cash that you need to slowly clear out the tiles, and then eventually get the cash that you need to actually finish the build. So it will take longer. Honestly, it might take like 4 hours more than usual just from clearing the spoiled soil, which is very annoying, I know. If you don't like the whole spoiled soil thing, share your frustrations in the Gala Games Discord. That's clearly what they want to hear. They will probably do a survey though, so wait until the survey comes out and definitely participate in that when that happens. Or maybe share your concerns with the town hall that's coming up next week on September 22nd that they just announced. So yeah, let them know how you feel about the spoiled soil, whether you hate it or love it. I haven't really heard anybody that loves it, but I'm just letting you know to share your concerns with them. Now, if you have access to the Townstar Playbook Planner, I share a file for it in my supporters only channel, which is the Team Dub chat. If not, I also did design this using townstarplanner.online, so I'll be sharing the file for this, and you could just load it up on here, look at it, make any adjustments that you want to in order to help you create or improve your current design, what it may be. But other than that, and the rambling that I've been doing in this video, that's all I have to share for this upcoming competition. All things considered, doesn't seem too difficult if you did the roasted garlic meta, because there are some similarities here and there. I know some people just ended up creating or are working on creating a brand new design. That's cool. Hopefully they managed to improve it a lot more than their first design for the roasted garlic. That's nice to hear. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And if you want to help support the channel, you can find links in the description on how to do so. As always, I appreciate your support, and thank you for watching.